Gymnastics is just so hard, mentally and physically. Like, you have to have people who are in it with you and who have the same goals as you and are gonna push you.
Beam is completely different than floor. Floor is completely different than vault. Vault's completely different from bars. So it's almost like you're doing 4 different sports within one sport. When you're doing gymnastics, you get the reps in, and physically it comes, and eventually you'll get the skills, but mentally I think is the toughest part, to get through those skills and to just have that mental toughness for every single event that you do.
All right, same circuit as we've had the last couple of weeks. We'll go through 2 times through. So you got a whistle. Well, pretty loud. Last week.
We do have spots this year that we need to fill, with the departure of some of our seniors and super seniors. And I think it's inspiring to watch these girls go to work.
Everyone is so hungry just to get in those lineup spots and to compete, and everyone kind of just pushes each other.
I would love to compete on 3 events. I have been working really hard this summer. I was here all summer.
The competition, it's in the gym, it's healthy competition. Everybody wants each other to do well.
Come on, AJ, you can do it.
We all just want each other to succeed so much. Every single day we just push each other to be the best that we can be, no matter what lineup spot you get. I think everyone just wants everyone to succeed, and I think that's how our team works.
As soon as I get home, I need at least a solid hour of horizontal time. And then it's after horizontal time, I'm like, okay, I had my chance to relax a little bit, and then it's like, okay, next thing, gotta keep grinding.
That's very true. Yeah, a lot of times I come home, you are horizontal on the couch. I'm kind of just the opposite. I get home, get all my stuff done, and then at the end of the day, that's kind of when I relax, rewind, whatever. But definitely trying to do stuff like this when school's a little lighter definitely helps balance out the busy life of being a student athlete.
This is a real special treat that it's beyond just normal self-care. That I think is nice to do.
Yeah, just adds to the balance. I don't know, look good, feel good, do good.
Exactly.
It's just one of the steps of that.
Literally. I am just a loud person through and through, and so when I retired floor when I was a sophomore, I decided that my role for floor is I'm going to be the biggest cheerleader, and I am going to scream and shout, and honestly that's why I love having floor last, because that means I get to just put all of my energy into cheering on my teammates. It just brings me so much joy that even though I don't get to necessarily do the event, having my voice be the thing that's I can, some people are I hear nothing, but Nikki, when I'm on floor, you're the only thing I hear. And I love that, because it's I just want to be able to bring you some positivity to this group. To any group, really.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks.
Your presence is always felt. It would be very difficult, I think, to be successful in this sport without the love for it.
Yeah.
Just because of the time commitment, the demands on your body, the risk for injury would just go up significantly if you weren't committed every day and enjoying it. Because the burden of, just say 3-4 hour practices, I think would just take a toll physically and mentally if you didn't love it. I started gymnastics when I was 2, the little mommy and me classes, because my mom used to be a gymnast, so fell in love with it at a young age, but then going through club gymnastics, culture is very different than college gymnastics. So around middle school, I felt out of love with the sport, and then switched club gyms to the gym that I graduated high school from. And like that switch is when I fell in love with the sport. And then college just took that to a whole nother level with the team aspect, and everybody is literally like a sister on this team, and we all complement each other so well. And I really just like couldn't imagine not being on this team. On the first day of classes this year, we had gear day, which we do every year, where we get all of our new Nike stuff, we try it on, it's a fun day. And then Bev, before we left, told us all to come into the team lounge, and no one knew what was going on. And she handed out our team handbooks and said we were going to read through them, kind of page by page, like selecting different pages for each person to read. And still not thinking anything of anything, she calls me up, she told me to flip to a page on the handbook, and in the handbook they'd put a note over the page.
Dear Jenna, your hard work and dedication over the years has not gone unrecognized. In recognition of that, we are awarding you with a full scholarship for your senior year. Congratulations and go blue.
It was one of the happiest moments, and really just shows that hard work does pay off, and you can achieve your ultimate dream even if you don't start out necessarily doing that. Honestly, it means everything, just knowing that the coaches have their full trust and faith in me, just showing that I do belong here, and I've worked very hard to mostly prove that to myself, because I think everyone else believed it more than I really believed it. So just kind of solidifying that in my mind and knowing that everything happens for a reason, and I did make all the right decisions and the right choices, and they led me here, so.
Always having that love is just something that's kind of guided me throughout it all, which I'm really thankful I've gotten to have.
Yeah, it definitely just makes the harder times in the sport more enjoyable.
Yes.
And you have that extra incentive to get back, because
Exactly.
you do love what you do every day.
Exactly.
It sucks when it's not going the way you want, or you can't do it for whatever reason. So it just definitely, I think, makes us stronger as athletes, but also people.
Vault is the event where you run full speed at this table-looking thing, and then you typically will do a round off or somehow get onto the springboard that then launches you onto the table, and then you usually do another flip off of the table, and you kind of push off, do a flip, and then you hopefully stick it. And some people are, more graceful, and some people are more powerful, so sometimes vault and floor is easier for people, sometimes bars and beam. So I think it really depends on the person, but for me, I would say that vault has been my most difficult challenge in the gym the past couple years. Coming into college, I had a Yurchenko 1.5, which you've seen some of my teammates doing. It's the vault where you block off the table, do 1.5 twists, and land it. I was doing that vault very successfully. Summer after my freshman year, I was vaulting one day and I just ran down the runway and stopped. And it was like this weird block in my head that I felt, and I was, standing at the end of the runway. I tried to go again, and I was like, all right, no worries, I'll just try again. And I went back and ran down the runway and stopped again. And I was getting frustrated, and I was like, JC, you've done this your entire life. Like, this shouldn't be hard for you. And I kept trying over and over again, and I couldn't get myself to go over the table. I would literally stand at the end of the runway and basically feel like I had no idea what to do.
In our sport, mental blocks are huge. And it doesn't matter if you're learning something brand new for the first time, or if you've done something at a high level and competed it for years and years and years. They happen. You can compete something at a high level and wake up one day and it's almost like your brain and your body has just forgotten how to do it.
vault was overtaking everything in my life, and everything was spiraling, and I would come into the gym and I was frustrated with vault, and then therefore I was frustrated with gymnastics, and I was upset at myself, and I couldn't get myself out of this feeling of being disappointed with myself, and that led me to having some mental health struggles. Dealt with anxiety, dealt with a little bit of depression, and it all just started spiraling, and it was something that I had never experienced before.
With gymnastics, you have to be in such, to me, it's like you have to be in like such a fine space mentally. And when I say this, it's like what we're doing is insane. If I start to break down every skill that I'm doing, I'm like, sounds scary, like sounds dangerous, like now I don't really want to do it. And then that's when you start to kind of spiral in that way. And I think that's why gymnastics is so hard, because every day we're kind of fighting like to get in that headspace that's like literally like this narrow. Because I have days where I'm coming into practice and I am exhausted, but I'm like, okay, like wake up, like you need to be able to do your gymnastics and really be intentional. And then I also have other days where I start to think about gymnastics too much, and I'm like, well, now it's kind of scaring me. I think gymnasts probably have a lot more going on behind the scenes than what's at face value.
Eventually I had a conversation with my captains about vault and told them and cried to them and just let them know how I was feeling and asking for help and what can I do to fix this. And we lean on each other so much as teammates that I think it's important that in that moment they were able to just be there and listen to me and be empathetic and hear me out. And so after that conversation, they inspired me to go talk to Bev about it, of course, and she was proud of me for asking for help and taking the first step that I need to getting better again. Nothing ever feels good if you don't work hard for it. The feeling of doing a Yurchenko 1.5 again, whenever I do it, I can't even imagine how proud of myself I'm gonna be, and I think that's kind of this motivation in the back of my head. How cool would it be if I can get back into the vault lineup and kick some butt, do a Yurchenko 1.5 in competition, and just look back on this time in my life and be like, okay, I got through that, I can get through anything.
Oh, there I am. I'm seeing something that took 4 years to do. But I did it. I've never done a routine over here before. So.
Wait, ever?
Ever. I'm always over here. So yeah. So that's pretty awesome. I've always practiced bars, but I've never competed bars. I've never done a routine or anything because I'm just not that consistent, if I'm gonna be honest. But I've also been with the Jaeger, I've struggled with mental blocks and not letting go, and so this whole summer I spent every single second doing stuff mentally for the Jaeger.
In the past, I've always just thought that I was gonna not get yelled at or anything, but just I was just upset that it wasn't perfect, basically. Yeah, our sport is very subjective, and it's it's not based on oh, did you make this play or not, or did you do this? You actually the whole point is to be perfect and to get that perfect 10. So it's having that in the back of your mind to try and make everything perfect, but if it's not perfect, it's still okay. You're not going to be reprimanded or anything about it. It's okay. You're going to learn from it. What did you do wrong, and how can we fix it next time, basically. Not you're never going to be in the lineup ever again. So I got to that point, after I realized that, then that's when I started going to the sports psych here, Ardren. It's made a huge difference. So I'm definitely doing a lot better.
And here we are. So came a long way. So that's exciting. I don't seem not excited because if I get more excited, I'm going to cry, so I'm not going to do that. But this is a really big step.
Guess what? Even old dogs can learn new tricks.
Guess so.
Good job, babe.
Thank you.
My job is, if this is where you are as an athlete, I'm gonna put the bar up here. But understand that when you get to here, I'm gonna raise the bar to here, because that's my job.
All right, Jace. Beautiful. It was really a very small adjustment at the end of the straddle half.
And that means that I respect you unbelievably. It's not because I'm trying to be tough or mean or hard. It's because I want you to be the very best athlete that you can be. And I have faith in you that you have more inside of you than what you even believe that you can do.
Let's give Raina a huge round of applause. That's what I also love about our program, is that we have seniors that are still learning new things after 4 years of never giving up.
If an athlete believes that I believe in them, then they're going to believe in themselves.
Okay, you got it.